Few television shows in history have struck the balance between humor and heartbreak, like MASH running for 11 seasons between 1972 and 1983. The series set during the Korean War became a cultural touchstone, reshaping how audiences viewed war, comedy, and storytelling. But even the show's biggest fans may not realize how revolutionary it was, both on and off screen. Here are 10 incredible, lesser-known facts that will deepen your appreciation for one of television's greatest achievements. 1. The series finale was the most-watched scripted TV broadcast in American history. When MASH ended on February 28, 1983, it didn't just conclude a beloved television series. The 2.5-hour finale, Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen, drew in over 105 million viewers, making it the most watched scripted broadcast in U.S. television history. To this day, no other scripted series has come close. It surpassed the Super Bowl in viewership then and held the record for most watched television broadcasts until 2010. The finale was more than entertainment. It was a collective national moment. Entire cities reported lower water pressure due to millions of viewers using the bathroom at the same time after the episode ended. 2. MASH was based on a novel before it became a movie or TV series. Most fans know that MASH began as a film before becoming a television series. Fewer realize that both were inspired by a 1968 novel titled MASH, a novel about 3 Army doctors by Richard Hooker, the pen name for Dr. H. Richard Hornberger. Hornberger was a real-life surgeon during the Korean War, and his first-hand experiences shaped the foundation of the characters, tone, and humor. The book introduced the irreverent, wisecracking doctors and their battle against the absurdities of military life. The 1970 film, directed by Robert Altman, took the satire further, adding a countercultural flair. When CBS developed the TV series, the creators retained the humor, but infused it with emotional depth. 3. Though set during the Korean War, the series was a commentary on Vietnam. The show was set during the Korean War, which took place from 1950 to 1953. However, MASH premiered in 1972, during the final and most controversial years of the Vietnam War. While not overtly political, the show cleverly used its Korean War backdrop to critique the violence, bureaucracy, and moral contradictions of all wars. The historical distance allowed the writers to explore anti-war sentiments and ethical questions without triggering direct censorship. This subtext helped MASH become a platform for reflecting on the human cost of conflict, addressing PTSD, military incompetence. 4th, Alda was not just the star, he helped shape the show's vision. Alda, who portrayed the beloved Captain Benjamin Franklin Hawkeye Pierce, was much more than an actor. Throughout the show, he became one of its most influential creative forces. Alda directed 32 episodes, wrote 13, and insisted on certain ground rules that shaped the show's identity. He fought to remove canned laughter during surgical scenes. His influence helped transform MASH from a clever sitcom into a character-driven dramedy that dared to explore trauma, love, loss, and resilience. 5. Key characters left due to creative conflicts and personal frustrations. While many shows see cast turnover, MASH's departures were often dramatic and rooted in real-life tensions. One of the most notable exits was Wayne Rogers, who played Trapper John. Despite being billed as a co-lead alongside Alda, Rogers became frustrated that the scripts increasingly centered on Hawkeye. Another major departure came when McLean Stevenson, who played Colonel Henry Blake, left in hopes of pursuing a bigger career. The writers responded by having Blake die in a shocking twist, with Radar announcing his death in one of the show's most powerful scenes. These unexpected exits forced the show to evolve and introduce new characters like Colonel Potter and BJ Honeycutt. 6. Humor was used as a mirror of real wartime coping mechanisms. One of MASH's most brilliant qualities was its balance between absurd comedy and gut-wrenching drama. This wasn't just a stylistic choice, it reflected real-world coping strategies used by medical personnel in combat zones. Soldiers and surgeons under immense stress often turned to gallows humor and sarcasm to survive emotionally. By replicating this balance, MASH offered viewers a glimpse into the psychological survival tools of those on the front lines. The humor wasn't escapist, it was a defense mechanism. 7. The show lasted over 3 times longer than the war it portrayed. The Korean War lasted just over 3 years, from 1950 to 1953. Yet MASH aired for 11 seasons over 11 years, creating a fascinating paradox in which the fictional events of the 4077 were stretched far beyond the real timeline of the conflict. Writers could dig deeper into relationships, ethical dilemmas, and personal transformation. Characters like Hot Lips Houlihan, who began as a caricature of a rigid military woman, evolved into a multi-dimensional leader. 8. The Korean setting was filmed in Southern California. Despite its convincing depiction of the Korean landscape, the show was mostly filmed at Malibu Creek State Park, just outside Los Angeles. The mountainous terrain served as the perfect stand-in for the Korean countryside. The set included everything from tents and jeeps to makeshift operating rooms, creating an immersive world for the cast and viewers alike. In 1982, a wildfire tore through the park and destroyed most of the outdoor set. In the finale, the burned-down camp served as a symbol of impermanence and closure. 9. Radar O'Reilly was based on a real person. One of the show's most beloved characters, Corporal Walter Radar O'Reilly, was not entirely fictional. The original novel's author, Richard Hooker, based Radar on a real company clerk he had served with during the Korean War. Gary Berghoff, the actor who portrayed Radar, was the only cast member to reprise his role from the original 1970 film. Berghoff gave Radar a unique combination of innocence, qualities that made him a fan favorite, and a vital emotional anchor during the show's earlier seasons. 10th, MASH changed the landscape of television storytelling. Before MASH, the standard television sitcom was predictable. There were few consequences, few risks, and almost no commentary on serious issues. MASH shattered those conventions. It introduced concepts like death as a permanent narrative event, character evolution, and moral ambiguity. Some episodes broke format entirely, such as the black-and-white documentary style The Interview. Its influence can be seen in countless series that came after, from ER to The West Wing to The Sopranos. MASH proved that television could be a platform for both storytelling and social reflection, without compromising on entertainment. Final thoughts. Why MASH still matters. Decades after it left the airwaves, MASH remains a landmark in television history, not just for its ratings or its characters, but for its unwavering commitment to portraying the human condition with honesty, wit, and compassion. It was never simply a show about war. It was a show about people trying to stay human in an inhuman situation. Its humor, its heartbreak, and its courage to ask difficult questions have kept it relevant for generations. And perhaps that's the most amazing fact of all. If you enjoyed this deep dive into MASH, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more amazing facts and hidden stories, and let us know your favorite MASH moment in the comments below.